going on, Geeks? Listening to episode 328 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is Cody Armour. I'm here with Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
And Lj.Lowery.
What up?
This week, we're geeking out about James Gunn, because how could we not? Some legendary news for Sony fans, such as, and it's actually not related to that at all, but I feel like we have to, Apocalyptic Wasteland of Twisted Metal. So that's also Sony.
Yeah.
We have segues for days in this episode, guys.
Yep.
Get
Like
excited.
the MCU, it is all connected. For the most part.
Oh no.
DC's about to be due, hopefully.
Yeah. Let's start with gaming though. LJ, what games have you been playing this week?
Alright, so I took a hard left somewhere, and I ended up grabbing Pokemon.
Whoa, which one?
Awesome.
Violet?
Violet? Alright.
Yes, yeah.
Purple.
It's actually, so I know there were issues, especially like on launch day. I have not encountered a lot of like really any glitches or any bugs or anything like that people were like talking about. I haven't seen yet. So like it's fine. Like it's a perfectly fine game so far. I'm enjoying it a lot. The immersion is there. I do wish that I could customize my school uniform a little bit, because if you can do it in a PS2 game, which was Bully,
Seriously.
you can do it in a
Yes.
Pokemon. You should be able to do it in a Pokemon game. Like,
I agree. My gosh.
but like, so it's like I have some like fresh looking shoes, a cool hat and stuff like that, and a backpack. But I'm like, you get maybe 4 different outfits you can choose like for each season. I mean, it doesn't have to be like seasonal, like, but I'm like, man, instead of using animations for the Pokédex for a bookshelf, you could easily cut those animations and make some customization options. Anyway, it's a fun game. The big 3 objectives are to take out the giant Titan Pokemons, to fight the Team Star. I think they have bases all around the map, and then the gyms. So you have like 3 main objectives, kind of. You do definitely get to go around, like go kind of choose a direction and go, which is cool.
How do the gyms work with that? Are the gyms got certain levels, or are they adapted
So,
to where you're at?
I don't think they scale up to you. I think different directions have different like set like level. Like I think what happens is the weakest areas are around the school, and then as you go further out to the map, areas have stronger Pokemon and stronger like Titans and like objectives and stuff.
What I did in Zelda was I just went to the farthest point of the map I could.
Yep. So it is kind of weird because nothing really scales with you. My favorite, I think, the most immersive are probably when you go to the bases to battle Team Star, because you basically use the feature to like the auto battle feature, like, and send out your Pokemon. You get to pick like 3, and you basically get to storm the base with like 3 of your Pokemon. So it's kind of like epic in that way. And then you basically draw out the leader of the base and fight them. The gyms are kind of neat. They're like these big tower things. They look like big skyscrapers. It's fun. Like, I'm enjoying it so far, which it was a gamble, because I was like, you know what, like, I know other games had issues this year, and so I was like, you know what, since I've been kind of like championing the 6 and 7 games this year, I'm like, let me try Pokemon. Let me do it. And I like it. Like, I've gotten past the intro area, and it's super fun.
Cool.
I feel like
Is
badges...
it super buggy? I know a lot of people were saying that it was.
No, so that's what I mentioned at first, is like it hasn't been really that buggy for me, like, at all.
That's good.
Yeah, so
That's good.
I mean, I don't know if that got fixed internally or somehow like without.
I've heard it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Which is like really sketchy. You would think there'd even be some consistency, but it seems like everybody has like weird glitches. Like from what I've seen, people have been like, "Oh, well, this weird thing," and then someone else will be like, "Wow, that doesn't happen to me," but I fall through the map, or just random things like that, and I'm just like, that's crazy to me.
I feel like I may have got lucky, and it could be one of those things. Like, I bought it digital, so I don't know if there's a difference between a Switch running the cartridge or running the digital version. I have no idea. There could be so many factors.
It could literally be like how your character's dressed, or they could like trigger a whole bunch of other things.
I have no idea.
Like,
Like, I don't. There's
Knowing
yeah, there
Pokemon,
could be-
it could be anything.
Yep,
Right?
it really
They
could
don't
be.
really program their games.
Yeah.
Missing
very
No is just out there
Missing No. Dang.
ruining everything.
That goes far back too. Like it's
So many people don't know what Missing No is.
Missing No, exactly.
But yeah.
They'll just maybe they just planning to follow Cyberpunk, and they'll make an anime about it that's not the anime they have out now, and then everyone will buy it, and it'll all be fixed.
I'm just, yeah.
The thing that I find to be a bummer is that I feel like badges don't really matter anymore. Because every time you beat something, they're like, "Hey, you get a badge," and I'm like, "Oh, cool." I remember back in the day in Pokemon, you could go to the badge menu and it would show off a fancy, cool badge that you earned from beating a gym.
Absolutely.
But it's like, nope, you just literally get a badge for everything you do in this game, and I'm just like, that's no fun.
That is fun. I loved in I forget which games, but you could shine them. Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. You could shine them and it made noises, and you could make music with them.
Oh wow! See, that's kind of like. Yeah, so like it just feels like
To be honest with you guys, I still have my badges from PAX West that we bought.
Yeah, I do. Somewhere. I do have them somewhere. I need to find them again.
Yeah, they were selling them somewhere, and I had to buy them.
That's awesome.
They're in one of my jackets.
That's
from
cool.
Kanto, of course.
Yeah, so badges don't really feel like they mean much anymore. I like the hubs that are almost like, to me, they remind me of gas stations, but it's got like the Pokemon Center, it's got the shop, it's got like some other, I think you can make TMs on the other like kiosk thing, like, so it just kind of reminds me of like a gas station, weirdly.
Are they still doing where it feels like a specific part of the world?
What do you mean?
Does this game feel like it's a specific part of the world?
It's supposed to be Spain,
Spain,
right?
Yep. Oh,
Spain?
yeah.
Okay.
I do love the music in this game. I really do. The soundtrack is honestly a highlight for me. Yeah, it's cool. It's not bad. Like yeah, but like you said, I don't know. Like I think it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think it's a performance thing, but I'm also playing on the OLED too. So like I don't know, maybe.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, so I don't know. Like, I don't know if somebody could be having issues if they're playing on a Switch Lite or a regular Switch or whatever, you know, like, there could be, I mean, there's not supposed to be a performance, thing, but who knows? I like it. More than I think I expected to. And the other game real quick I've been playing is Evil West, which is also another kind of 7-ish game. It's basically it's a Western setting where you fight vampires and werewolves and all kinds of supernatural creatures. Weirdly controls like a God of War game to me. Like I thought it was going to be like a Gears of War style shooter, but you do a lot of brawling. You have this like electric like gauntlet thing, so you're sitting there like you can literally like shock an enemy and sit there and just boom, 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 and box him up while he's electrocuted and just wail on him. Super cool, very bloody, very mature game. It's one I definitely I like. I enjoy it personally, but I'd say it's probably a good sale game. It'll probably be on sale by spring, and you get it like for like $40-$30. But yeah, that's been a fun game too. But I've played a lot of games definitely since Backlog Golf ended. Definitely bought some stuff. Bought Neon White, which is a cool game.
That game looks really fun.
Yes, it's good. I did play a little bit of Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is also cool. That's a fun, chill game. But it's like, yep, I kind of stocked up for the winter, and hopefully I'll beat some of these next year for Backlog Golf. But yep, it's that time of year. Sales everywhere.
Cool.
So yeah, that's it.
What about you, Shelley? What have you been playing?
Yeah, so I actually was fully expecting to get Pokemon. My husband was going to get Scarlet. I was going to get Violet. There's a whole thing. We were really excited for it. Especially, I'm still recovering. Like my voice, you might hear it. I might cough. But I got sick, right? And so that's why I wasn't on last week because I could barely talk. And so I was like really looking forward to it because I was like, oh, it's going to be like a sick game, right? Like I'm just going to be able to play Pokemon while I'm sick. And then I saw all these glitches happening. I heard there was a memory leak. I heard all these problems. I heard all these complaints. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound fun. I'm not going to risk it.
All right.
Which is too bad because, like, obviously it was the most excited I was for any Pokemon game, but I kind of determined, I was like, this actually, no. I was burned too much by Cult of the Lamb, I think, because that game was so fun, but the glitches kept me from playing more. Like, I did beat the game, but every once in a while I'll still try to like open it up and it just lags so bad, and there's like still all these glitches that like they are actively patching and they are like updating, but they haven't like fixed all of them yet, and I'm impatient, so I'm like, well, I don't really want to have that experience again with another game, and that's basically probably what Pokemon would be, because again, like, it could be anyone. It seems like it's random what type of glitches and problems you get. So for us, we both just said, you know what, let's not spend the $120, right? Let's just not, and we'll wait, and, you know, if they patch it or if they fix things, cool, but also there's a lot of gameplay things that I realize I'm not a fan of, that I didn't realize was a thing. Like, they got rid of set mode for battling. It's only Switch now. They got rid of, like, you can't really go into buildings anymore, apparently. A lot of it's sort of restricted to menus. I don't know. There's just a lot of things I heard where I'm like, I don't really like the direction this is going, unfortunately, while I do like the open worldness aspect. Yeah, I may just need to wait. So
I think a good way to equate it for Cody to maybe understand is it feels like the Sonic Frontiers issue, where it's like they try to populate the world so much with activities that kind of each place you go to, each area you go to, each town you go to, like, none of it has an identity. Like, you know, like back in the day, Pokemon was like,
yes,
oh, let's go visit this new town we've never been to. Here's this issue that's going on with said town. Let's fix it, then handle the gym or whatever. Then, you know, kind of a thing. Like, there's not really a lot of identity, like with like the world itself or like the towns,
which makes me sad. So, but anyway, but I ended up not having too hard of a time because I got a Steam Deck.
Oh yeah.
And I've been actually for a little bit have been thinking about getting a Steam Deck. And I was telling my friends too, like I was asking my friends like who had Steam Decks, was like, hey, how do you like them, and whatever. Both for the convenience, the being able to play Steam games on a Steam Deck, and also emulation. I was really excited about that. So one of my friends actually was selling his, not because there was anything wrong with it. It was definitely, it was like a personal issue. It was like an ergonomics issue for him. So for him, it wasn't worth it to keep. So he sold it to me for a little bit cheaper. And he also included the SD card, which was really nice. And I didn't have to wait for a delivery. So it was like an amazing deal for me. And immediately I got my Steam games set up on there, or at least quite a few of them, and I got emulation working. Which again, sorry to anybody out there. I don't know if Joe's listening. I don't know who's listening who's really doesn't like emulation. I'm sorry. I will be talking about it in a positive way, so I just want to apologize for that. The games that I put on there, all except for like 3, are games that I own. So, like, I put Pokemon Pinball in there and played some of that, and that was amazing. And I don't know if anybody remembers from, like, over the summer or whatever it was, I tried playing Pokemon Pinball on my Game Boy, and it crashed. And I was so sad. And I'm playing Pokemon Pinball now, and it's on this beautiful, glorious screen. Sometimes it lags, or sometimes it chunks. It does, like, this weird thing between transitions. And I think that's just an emulation thing with the Steam Deck that I have yet to figure out. It didn't affect gameplay at all, because it was just, like, going from, you know, if anyone's played the game, going from to a Kecleon stage, or back from a Kecleon stage, for example. Like, any of those transitions, or like when Groudon's coming down, but once the ball is on the court, once the Pokeball is there, it runs perfectly. So that was fun, for example. But yeah, I just have a couple Game Boy games on there, a couple DS games, a couple GameCube games. I'll talk more about that. But first I'll talk about, I guess, the 2 main games I've been playing right now. Spiritfarer. So that game was on like super cheap sale, like $7 or something. Man, that's a good game, and I'm not even that far. It runs really well on the Steam Deck, and it's like what I really want from a game like Animal Crossing, where I want a goal, and I want, you know, the relationships, and I want the wholesomeness, and I want the cozy vibes, but I still need a goal of some kind. Like Animal Crossing, you kind of have to make that for yourself. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, my goal is to make my island look this certain way, or to get all the fish, or to get all the, you know, whatever. And that's great. But I personally am not, I don't really set that initiative for myself. I'm really bad at setting initiatives for myself. So, I like need a goal. And usually that comes in the form of like a story, or tasks or thing like that. So that's what's great about this game, is that it's a really simple, like, straightforward thing that you're supposed to be doing. And maybe it's not that straightforward. You're supposed to be, you know, guiding these spirits into the afterlife. That is what you're doing. You're supposed to help them with their last couple of things that they need to essentially resolve before they can move on, which is great because it's like, I don't know, as someone who's been doing therapy for a little while now, ever since the summer, I really appreciate it because, you know, here's these characters who all have stuff that, you know, baggage, right? Stuff from their past that they didn't really want to think about. And the ways that they react to it is in really, really, like, relatable ways. Like, I won't spoil anything, for example, but just, like, some of these characters, the way that they describe, you know, stuff that's happened to them, and their mixed feelings about it. And I'm just like, oh, that's so realistic. And it's like, even if I can't necessarily relate with what that character is feeling, like, or what they went through, I can, like, relate with what they're feeling. And also you're, like, on a boat, which is cool. It's very, like, Wind Waker or Phantom Hourglass-esque, which I love both those games. So
I love the really activities that you can do on the boat, like catching stuff and like just to collect the resources is awesome. Yeah, and like, I think the only one I don't like is having to water my plants so often. Like, I have to water them all the time. That's the only one that annoys me. But the rest of them, I like, like, you actually have to do something in order to make thread, or in order to turn your ore into ingots, for example. And then you can use those things to make more stuff on your boat. And also, I love that you can just, like, move around everything on your boat so easily, and just reorganize. Like, that's fun. Like, I think what's annoying about Animal Crossing is that reorganizing is a pain. If you want to move someone's house, it, like, takes an entire in real life day, whereas in this game it just, like, goes with a snap. So it's also gorgeous. The music's really nice. Yeah, there's just stuff to do. I really like this game so far. So I've been playing that. But through emulation, finally, after years and years of wanting to play this game, I'm playing Fire Emblem Path Radiance. And I am loving it so much. It's so good. Awesome. It's like, it almost makes me sad for newer Fire Emblem games. Like, obviously, like, Three Houses is amazing. And I still love Awakening. And there's even some good things to find in, like, Fates, for example, Echoes, things like that. But something about this game, like, it's just so fun, and the characters are so good. Like, every character is really fleshed out. I think a big complaint I have with newer Fire Emblem games is that a lot, except for Three Houses has really, really well-rounded characters, but a lot of characters, especially when I think about, like, Fates, for example, or Echoes, Shadows of Valencia, I mean, Echoes, Shadow of Valencia, that's the full title. A lot of the characters just have one thing going for them. One defining trait, one thing, whereas characters in this game are, like, really fleshed out, really feels realistic. Again, even if though it's a fantasy game, obviously it's not realistic in that way, but the characters seem realistic for the, you know, fantasy world that they're placed in. And they're all interesting, they're all cool. The story is, I've heard the story is the best in a lot of people's eyes in all the games. So far I would agree. I'm not done yet with Path Radiance, but so far I'm in agreement. This is a really good story. Yeah, I just like it a whole lot, and it's way fun being able to play on the Steam Deck because then I can play it just in my hands. But I also have a docking station. I don't have the official Steam docking station. I just have one left over from work that it works with because it's a computer, right? That's awesome. What's so great about this is that it's a computer. You can do computer stuff with it. It has its own OS and everything. So unlike the Switch, where it's really hard to, like, mod things or, like, move information around on it or, like, do kind of anything with the Switch, it's so easy on the Steam Deck. And you can even, I heard that you can even, like, replace parts. They sell, like, parts, and you can really easily, like, if your
I was gonna say Joy-Con.
This-
But if your joystick starts drifting, they sell and make it really easy to replace it.
Oh, cool.
Whereas like the Switch still just doesn't have that option. You just have to buy new Joy-Cons, which are like
Or send it in for repairs.
Or send it in for repairs. Like
Mm-hmm.
how this thing is so freaking user friendly. Getting emulation set up was super easy. Again, yeah, it's such an incredibly user friendly device. And it like using different controllers was really easy. Because it's just automatically set up, right? I use my Pro controller, my Switch Pro controller. I connect my Steam Deck to a docking station that's connected to my TV, and it literally feels like I'm playing Fire Emblem Path of Radiance like on a Switch, except it runs better sometimes.
That's cool.
Arguably, I would say it runs better. Anyway, I'm just having a lot of freaking fun with that system and with those games in particular. I also have Radiant Dawn, so once Path of Radiance is done, I'll just move on to Radiant Dawn, but it just makes me really sad that Intelligent Systems does not understand how great these games are, or maybe they do, but instead of making these games more accessible to their audience, they just throw Ike and other characters in these games, like, excuse me, like Ike and a bunch of his buddies are in Heroes, Ike is in Smash,
Yeah.
and Ike will, again, and Micaiah, who's in Radiant Dawn, will be in Fire Emblem Engage. It's like Intelligent Systems understands how beloved these characters are, but at this point, you can't really play like any of those games, or you can't access like any of these games.
I worry that Engage is going to be so fan servicey. Like you can just tell.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Engage for a lot of reasons, but I agree. I think it's definitely going to be a pretty fan servicey game. But it just makes me sad. They like keep bringing these beloved characters, and it's like they know they have a lot of new people playing these games for the first time after Three Houses. Like so many people were introduced after Three Houses, which is amazing. But now they're going to be playing Engage, and they're not going to know any of these characters, or maybe they'll want to know more of these characters, and they'll be like, oh, well, I would like to play these older games these characters are from. Oh, you can't. eShop is closed. No way to get Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn on, current systems. Like, it just makes me a little bit sad. So, as much fun as I'm having with this game, it makes me sad.
Very expensive to, like, even go out in the wild and get those games, too.
It's literally like $200 on eBay, and none of that money goes to Nintendo. So, again, sorry, audience members who are not fans of emulation. I specifically try to emulate games that are inaccessible otherwise, and I would argue Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn are some of the most inaccessible games, at least that were actually released to the US. Blazing Blade, for example, was never released to the US. So, all that being said, or Blazing Sword, sorry. But that's what I've been doing. Steam Deck's very, very cool. Big fan.
I don't plan to rant on Snap every single week. Or not rant, but rave, I guess. But I did start playing that a little bit differently. I've gotten a move deck made.
Nice.
For those who played the game know what I'm talking about when I talk about a move deck. And it's been a lot of fun. But the people that say that that's like the end all, you have to do it that way to like be better, not the case. It's way more fun to play, I feel like, because you're having to really like be strategic with your moves.
Right.
But it's so much more dependent on drawing the right cards than my other deck, which was just like, I don't know, more basic. I don't know.
Kind of luck of the draw, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I have way less of a chance of winning depending on what I draw in this than I did with my other deck.
Oh, wow.
But super satisfying when I can just get like one card to play it at the very end and like destroy the entire game's the other player's whole game. So super cool, a lot of fun.
Nice.
So I'm really enjoying Snap, which is not something that I thought I would still be playing at this point.
I play it off and on. Like I feel like maybe once or twice a week now these days I'll pop on and play it.
Yeah, I try to get my daily daily goals basically in the game, and I usually try to get those, and then I just kind of move on. I'm no longer worried about the seasons at all. But I like to get my biggest thing is there's talks that they're working on you can play with other players that you know.
Oh yeah, like a social thing going.
Yeah, and I would love to be able to play like other people in the Geeks Under Grace community. Or what have you.
Or maybe form a guild or whatever, like they would call it.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to like
Mm-hmm.
make sure that I keep up enough to be able to do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm a little nervous. I feel like this game is not going to be not going to matter by the time they release that.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm not usually into deck builders, so
Yeah.
that's cool. And like the deck building is fun, which surprised me, because that was what made me go, I'm not going to be able to play this because I'm terrible at deck building. But it's so simplified. It's so fun. Yeah. Other than that, Cyberpunk. Just keep moving on. That game.
Nice.
I'm really like, I don't know if I'll platinum it yet or not, but I plan to like really complete that game.
Nice.
I'm a little worried that like to platinum it, you would need to play like all three. I haven't looked into it, but like all three classes, and if that's the case, that's not happening. But it's fun to explore that world. The last time I did this was another Project CD Red game. So I thought that was interesting. That's Witcher, right? Are the right people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about their games, but it makes me really want to explore their worlds. It's cool. That's all that I've been playing. LJ, we can get into the gaming news.
Well, since you mentioned The Witcher, might as well just go right into one of our news pieces. Yeah.
Want to toss a coin to our Witcher?
Yep. Again.
Again.
Yeah, we made this joke last time, I think.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm under the assumption that people don't listen to every single episode, and so that's just a fresh joke every time.
Oh, yeah. I'm down.
So sorry for the people that are awesome and do listen every single week. You're amazing. Anyway, so we were wondering what a remake was going to be like for The Witcher, the original game. And what's crazy is I didn't really care. I was like, I care that the game's being remade, but I was like, you guys do whatever you want. Like your news, I would have played it regardless.
Yeah. It sounds like the original was fairly linear, which I didn't play enough of the original. I just remember it being really weird. I imagine it was probably like a Diablo thing, almost like a wide linear kind of a thing. But the remake is apparently going to be open world, according to a earnings call for CD Projekt Red. So it's going to feel a lot like The Witcher 3, hopefully. And you'll be able to kind of go and do whatever, it is. And it's exciting. Like that it seems like it's going to be a ground-up remake, not just like some overhauled version, So I think it's for it to be open world, I think says something about what the quality of this remake is going to be.
Yeah, it sounds like a real remake. I'm excited.
Yep.
Gives me probably won't be as in depth as Final Fantasy VII.
Right. I mean that game
still
is drastically
really cool
different.
to like change the dynamic of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I guess a reminder while we're here, the remake, or not the remake, the upgrade, the like next gen upgrade for Witcher 3 comes out next week also, with a bunch of new features, like new quality of life features.
Which I didn't realize was just like, I thought I'd have to, I don't know. I didn't think my save files would come over. I thought it was a whole new game.
Nope, not a whole new game.
Skyrim, where you just buy it again, play it again, no save files.
No, I think there's going to be a free upgrade.
That's so cool.
And so if you don't own The Witcher 3 yet already, or you want to buy it on another platform, it's going to have cross saves.
And so good. Stuff.
And yes, Henry Cavill stuff, like TV show related cosmetics and things.
It's a whole quest.
Maybe now's the time to try to... Well, not now, but then will be the time to replay or retry playing that game. I'll just replay, but I can play it on the Steam Deck.
It's $10 on Steam right now. So I'm tempted to go get it on Steam because apparently it's got a photo mode on Steam and not on the console. So I'm just like, ooh.
It's so cool.
So I'm like, do I spend the $10? It's not a big ask, but also like since cross save is a thing, I can just go to my PS5 save since I have like it on the cloud on PS Plus. I can literally just use it on my PC if I want. So, trying to decide if I want
I'm
to
super
drop
excited
that
for more
$10.
content.
Yep.
That was my biggest thing. Is like I played it all at once, right? So the DLCs, like I finished that. And
see, I've never played the DLC.
I played this whole story.
I don't.
Oh, you never played the DLC?
Nope, I don't own the DLC on my PlayStation. So if I buy that $10 one on Steam, I'll have everything.
That's so good.
It's the complete edition, complete Game of the Year edition.
But no, I just you play this whole thing and you're like this big monster hunter, and that's like the whole thing of that's what Geralt is like he defeats big monsters. And so I was really kind of bummed when I got to the end of it that there were like no big monsters to beat, and story wise it really isn't about the creatures,
right?
But it's so much more about people, and story wise that's great, but it would have been really cool to have some just big monstrosities. They didn't have to be like big in size, but just strong to like go hunt down and really like try to hunt. But yeah, there's some more quests in this game upgrade, so I'm excited to go check them out.
Anyway, but I just wanted to throw that in there since we were talking remake. The next piece of news, which is eventually going to cross over into TV news as well. James Gunn apparently wants to connect future DC games and movies. Like, he wants to further connect the world beyond just movies and TV, which I think is a bold move.
Yeah, definitely.
And this was through a tweet, so it's not to say it's actually going to happen, but somebody literally asked him on Twitter and said, hey, are the, and is there any plans, to have everything connected? And then he literally just said yes. So on Twitter.
That makes me wonder, like, they have a Wonder Woman game coming out, if they're going to have to tweak that to make it work, or if it's going to be like after that.
I hope it's its own thing, because I don't want this new Wonder Woman game to be connected to the movies.
If it was, it would just be so shoehorned in.
Yeah.
And they've already showed the look of the new Wonder Woman in that teaser that like Monolith is making. Shadow of War devs, by the way. I think that is so perfect.
Yeah, I would hope that it would be separate as well.
Yeah, so in my mind, you could definitely have some, obviously, side adventures, because I think it's going to be really hard. I mean, it would be awesome. I would geek out about it, but it'd be interesting to maybe have a reference in a movie and be like, oh, like, these two have met before, or, some kind of thing, that does, like, that references it. And maybe if people would be like, oh, like, that's a video game? I kind of want to go see that. Or I kind of want to go play that and see how these two characters met, or how this character has been to this world before.
Yeah,
right. I feel like it'll definitely have the Netflix effect of Marvel, where the movies will be this canon narrative, and then you'll have the video games where they take place in that universe
to New York,
and probably even more cameos, I would assume.
Yeah.
But it would be its own story that you don't necessarily need for the next movie to come out. I can't imagine they would say you have to play this video game.
For sure.
I would love that.
Watch this next movie.
Like, that's not...
Yeah, it would be insane.
It's not intuitive for a general audience.
Right. But I would love for there to be some villains that are introduced in the movies, and then we get to see them more in depth, get a little bit more character development about them in a game, or vice versa. We get introduced to a character in a video game, and then you don't have to worry about the origin story anymore. You just have the movie that doesn't necessarily need that video game to run on its own. I think it'd be cool.
I think it would be nice too if not all the video games, like, they don't have to make every video game like this AAA, like, big budget thing too.
No, exactly.
They can probably do some kind of, like, maybe get an indie dev to do one thing, or something like that, or, like, just like, yeah, like, I think that's what they should do.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
In a lot of ways, probably better to do that.
Yeah, like, I think it'd be neat if it was some small project or something.
Because you make a game and it's really buggy.
Yeah.
Could completely destroy your,
like,
the narrative that you have.
They could literally do
really
like a Peacemaker beat 'em up, like Streets of Rage clone, and I'd totally be happy with that. That'd be awesome.
Totally. Yeah,
Peacemaker,
awesome.
Vigilante, 1 player, 2 player, and Call it a day.
And then you get a reference in the show at some point.
Yeah.
I get that reference.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yep. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Cool.
That's the gaming news.
Sweet. We will get into the movies then. I didn't see any movies, but I'm going to put this in there. LJ, I know you saw it too.
Yes.
Shelley, did you watch the Christmas special?
Nope.
You should definitely watch it. It's great.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a real fun 44 minutes, I think.
I think, here's one thing that I'll say. And this isn't against the movie or anything. They can do whatever they want with the characters. I feel like Star-Lord is getting way more complainy than he was in previous movies. I feel like that kind of started in Endgame or Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
He's gotten really whiny lately. He just doesn't care, and he's like, leave me alone. I noticed it with Thor: Love and Thunder, but he's always been kind of annoyed.
It's because the Gamora
It's like,
thing.
this is how he expresses his depression. Maybe.
It's the Gamora. It's the Gamora thing.
Probably.
That could be. He's constantly annoyed, and I was like, that's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just an
It's not very
observation that I
fun
made.
to watch.
And see, it's funny that you say that to me because then I think of like the video game version of Star-Lord from like the past year, where like everybody kind of picks on him for being kind of an idiot anyway. So like,
yeah,
like I almost want them to do
the
that.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not leaning more into that.
I kind of want them to call him out
more
for being like the way he is right now. Like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
But I don't know. It was a ton of fun. It was really cool to see Groot. My wife is convinced that it was just dude in a suit because Groot has gotten really big. I don't think he was in a suit. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it was both effects, practical and CGI. I do think it's interesting. I didn't realize this. I don't know why I didn't realize this, but this is a different Groot than, in a way, than the original Guardians of the Galaxy. It's his son, not him like reincarnated.
It's the one that was a baby that like got reborn as like a baby and teen.
Yeah,
like
but I thought the baby Groot was just Groot reborn. I didn't realize that they considered it father and son situation. And so there was people saying that he's way bulkier in this. And that doesn't make sense because Groot didn't look like that in the first movie. And it's like, well, it's not the same. It's not the same Groot. It's not the same person.
That's also a fun explanation to change his style a little bit. Because, I mean, they do that with other heroes across movies where it's like, they may look this way one movie and then, oh, here's a different costume the next, you know? Like,
yeah.
So.
This gave him a chance to kind of change the way. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mantis and the actress, I don't know the name off the top of my head.
Karen
did
Gillan?
an amazing job in this, I felt like.
Yeah, she was really good. Like, for a character I guess I never cared for before, I was like, okay. Like, and then it's weird because I was doing that thing the whole time where I just kept comparing it to the video game. Like, that came out last year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, why am I doing this? It's two different things.
That's funny.
But no, it's good.
I don't know.
It's fun.
I loved it. It's only like 45 minutes long, I think. It, not super long, not a lot of commitment, and it's a lot of fun. It's a good Christmas thing.
It is.
There's, I don't know if they'll do it every year. I don't know if it's gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy every year. I think that would be weird to have a Guardians of the Galaxy special every single year.
I think it's simply because
I want more Marvel things.
There was a Star Wars
Christmas
Christmas special, so James Gunn is probably like, well, we should have a Guardians of the Galaxy one.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know if they'll do it again.
Yeah.
But it was really fun, especially the song at the beginning. It was my absolute favorite.
So good.
I mean, if it's a Christmas thing, you expect there to be music, so... I mean...
Also, I'm glad it wasn't a musical. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, but there was music.
But there was music. The music was great.
Oh, that reminds me... I guess the last time I talked about that movie Spirited, and that was, like, so, like, heavy musical. So I'm like, oh, this has
Shelley,
music.
we need you to watch that so we can get your opinion.
Or see, at least look it up, because there's a Spirited. It's got
Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. And it's a musical.
Oh
yes.
my goodness.
So I don't know.
I still need to watch Eurovision with Will Ferrell.
You could probably find a YouTube video on Spirited or something, and just like. But I talked about it last week and how it was like a bit much at the time for me, but it was really weird. It was really weird to hear Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell sing.
Cool.
But yeah, cool. But that's why I brought up the music thing again. being that it is a Christmas special and it's also Guardians, it's like, there's going to be music. And so
For sure.
First song is absolutely hilarious.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
LJ, you've been watching some other Christmas movies, it looks like.
Yes. So, funny thing is, I watched the first Santa Claus movie before we recorded the podcast, and then I watched the second one after we recorded the podcast. And then the next day after that, I watched the third one.
Nice. And did you watch the show?
Not yet.
Okay.
I am saving the show. Now that I've watched all the movies, I'm going to watch the show.
Gotta get all the canon.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, what if they reference something that, like...
Yeah, well,
I don't know
they
about?
probably would. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I like 2... So, it's surprising, because I was always of the mind, like, I saw parts of 2 when I was real young, too. But I was like, the original is the end-all, be-all for me. Like, nothing's going to be as good. But I actually noticed, like, 2 and 3 are better quality movies than I expected. I enjoyed 2 a lot.
I really like 2.
There was parts that made me laugh a lot more than I think the first one did. I mean, I've watched the first one 100 times or so, but like there was stuff in 2 that genuinely like made me laugh, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then 3 was I thought 3 was going to be the worst, and that's actually not really that bad. Like, I like how they didn't keep him in makeup the whole time. Like, there's parts where he's definitely just like Tim Allen, like. So
yeah, I feel like it might still be the weakest of the 3, but it's not like a bad movie.
Right,
really.
right.
Yeah,
and I was surprised because I felt like, oh, we're gonna get a sequel, like a straight to DVD kind of sequel, even though it did come to theaters, I think. But no, I was like, wow, it's 3, like they were all surprisingly good. 2 is really good as well. But no, it was a fun, like, good, time for the season. Like, they're all on Disney Plus, and if you want to just straight up binge the movies and the show, like, it's all available on Disney Plus. So,
cool.
Yeah, I had a fun time watching those. Not bad at all.
Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Shelley? What have you been watching?
Well, I watched Death on the Nile.
Ooh.
Just because I was with my family and they all wanted to watch a movie, and they're like, let's watch this one. And so we watched it, and I wasn't really paying that much attention because I was definitely also playing just Fire Emblem in the background. But I watched enough of it that I'm like, yeah, I watched the movie. I saw it. It's funny because I never actually watched Murder on Orient Express. I know this is a sequel.
Oh.
But they're still, it still feels standalone enough for me to like be like, oh, okay, so like here's this detective guy and here's this situation happening. I liked it. I remember what you said, Cody, how with like Orient Express it was kind of like it was good, but the ending kind of reveal didn't make a lot of sense, but it was mostly just to surprise you, whereas Death on the Nile was more like, well, it was more obvious, but at least it also made more sense.
Yeah.
I honestly thought, like, I still liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. Very...
I remember enjoying it.
It was kind of crazy how it was, like, took so long for them to get onto the boat, right? So, like, instead of Orient Express, they're on a train. On this movie, they're on a boat on the Nile. It took a long time for them to get there. Like, there was a lot of setup happening. And I don't know if that was the case in the first movie, but I was kind of like, oh, are they still not? Okay. No one's died yet. Right? I'm just like, it's called Death on the Nile. When do people die? When does someone die? So that was kind of funny. But no, I liked it. I thought all the cool, pretty shots of Egypt were nice. And what I didn't realize as I looked up later, I didn't realize that these are all just books from the 30s. I didn't know that.
I knew the Orient thing was, but I didn't know if Death on the Nile was.
Yeah, and the next one too is just another one. Like, I think that's cool. Like,
they're probably gonna do a third movie then.
No, they are. I think they're doing.
Okay.
I forget what it's called, but it's basically gonna be about a seance instead.
Oh, okay.
And so he has to like deal with that. But yeah, I just think that's cool. I don't know. I like because I thought these were all original, but I think it's cool that they're digging up these old stories from the 30s, and it's like they're still taking place in the 30s, but it's not a stylistic choice.
Movies.
It's a oh, this took place at the time these books were written, and at the time it was the 30s. I just think that's cool, and like,
Yeah, definitely.
I looked up some of the differences between like the movie and the book, and like there wasn't a lot of differences. Like they kept a lot of things the same, so that's why I'm like, oh, that's kind of why it ended this way, probably. And
That's awesome.
I just
I
thought
feel
that
like
was
it really
cool.
throws actors into a way that they don't usually act as well. Like a lot of these roles
Yeah.
are not like typecasted for each character.
Yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
It forces them to actually probably roleplay a bit, you know, like
Yeah.
even though the lines are written.
Yeah, it was kind of like when I was first watching, I was just like, haha, you know, French detective. I just think of Jacques Clouseau. But it's like, there's a reason Jacques Clouseau became who he was. It's because he was making fun of that stereotype of a French detective. And this wasn't, and so it's like, this was before Pink Panther, right? So I just think that's kind of cool too. I don't know, I liked it. I don't really watch a lot of movies like that, but I did.
Did you see Knives Out?
Oh, Knives Out.
No, I
is
haven't seen Knives
amazing.
Out.
Knives
I've heard
Out
so
is
good,
even
and
better.
now Glass
Oh,
Onion's out
yeah.
too, right? So
Yeah,
It's
apparently
about to
the
be.
best Netflix movie.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
is it not out?
I think it
I
came
thought I read a
into.
thing that said it was like the best Netflix release.
I think it came to theaters for like a week or something, didn't it?
Oh, maybe,
Maybe.
that's... No.
But anyway, yeah, that's what I watched. I think that's it. We'll watch some shows, but we'll talk about that later.
December 23rd. Oh, I must have
Yeah,
read that.
it came to theaters for like a week on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and then if you want to watch more movies like that, I think See How They Run is a movie that's on HBO Max now. That came to theaters for a short time. But that's also like a murder mystery kind of thing.
Knives Out, totally worth watching.
Knives Out is amazing. Like I've never bought a movie right after renting it, like maybe once or twice, and that was one of them. I was like, yep, I want to own this.
Cool. Well, we'll go on from there then into the movie news. A lot of big stuff happening. Monstrous, you could say.
Yeah, that's a good
Kaiju-size
transition.
news.
Let's talk about that first. So,
Okay.
Legendary, the company behind Godzilla and King Kong and all those guys, is moving under Sony in this new deal. So, I feel like it's not entirely surprising. I don't really know what else Legendary does. I'm sure they do other things. I'm almost positive they do. I just don't really know. So it kind of makes sense that
I think
Sony or
Pacific
someone
Rim was
thought
one
about.
of them. Was one of the
Or-
franchises.
Yeah. So, but I want Godzilla to be a new Spider-Man villain. Come on. I mean,
You want him to fight Morbius?
if they're gonna be all under Sony,
I mean,
It's
Spider-Man's the only one
possible.
that I'm like, that would be cool to see him swing across.
that's
Like,
what I'm saying.
the back
It'd
of
be really
Godzilla.
Cool. It'd be really cool.
He could literally be like, hey, it's just like Star Wars.
Yeah.
I saw
So-
this.
Do it, Marvel.
I love that idea. I can't imagine that would ever happen. They did have, wasn't it Marvel versus the Titans from Attack on Titan?
I don't know.
Is that a real thing? No?
I don't know.
Making that up.
That
Is that
doesn't,
something that
doesn't
just
sound
needs to happen?
familiar. But I also don't
Wait.
follow Attack on Titan, so I could...
I think it was a comic
Legendary?
book.
Could have been.
I gotta know now.
Legendary has done a bunch of. Wow, Legendary did all the Batman movies.
Really?
Yeah, they did. Speaking of Titans, Clash of the Titans,
Oh.
Wrath of the
Huh.
Titans. They did Sucker Punch. They did a bunch of Zack Snyder stuff.
Wow.
Let's see, Man of
I didn't
Steel,
know.
Pacific
I
Rim,
can't believe that I'm making this up.
the 300 movies.
Well, that's
No,
interesting
here
to
we
me
go.
because
Avengers meet Attack on Titan in must-read crossover.
Nice.
fan fiction.
Yeah. No, it's real.
It's real.
did-
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like
a comic
official.
book.
They did
Weird.
Dracula
That's
Untold.
crazy. Cool though,
There's Hulk. Hulk is fighting. There's Iron Man. I'm just looking at stills right now.
bro.
Legendary did
No
Jurassic
way.
World? I'm looking at all these movies that Legendary did.
Jurassic World as well. I think and you know what this could be too. Is like, what if they decide to make some cool Godzilla games or something because it's Sony. They have their own
yeah, that would be
games.
fun.
Like that'd be really neat.
Oh, yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Wait, another Rampage.
Yes, I agree. Oh, Legendary did Detective Pikachu.
Yo,
Oh wow.
They did
Pikachu
they did
is now
Enola
Spider-Man's
Holmes.
enemy
Yeah. That is probably
He will be
the
joining
bigger
up
piece of news to me than
with
Godzilla.
Morbius.
So maybe
And
Warner
Venom.
Brothers. So maybe Warner Brothers never had like exclusive rights to them. But it sounds like Warner Brothers did recruit them for a lot. It looks like. Oh, they did Dune.
Wow.
they
Detective
did a
Pikachu.
lot
Who's
of
gonna make
stuff.
the next Detective Pikachu?
What do you mean they did Dune? Dune's gonna still be
Oh, I thought you said Doom. Never mind.
Dune.
like the new Dune?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's actually a little
I don't-
surprising then.
I don't want Sony to make Dune 2. I hope Warner
No,
Brothers
that's
makes
a
Dune 2
Warner
with someone
Brothers
else.
thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. Well, anyway, so that's a thing, and I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's a thing. You know,
They're
we
doing
don't.
Duke
it's
Nukem
always-
and Gundam.
It's always mixed feelings when companies get kind of. I don't know if it was necessarily bought out, but like when these deals happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up this article too. to
It-
see.
I'm
it
really
always
curious to
is a
see
little
like
bit.
how it'll affect everything.
Exactly right, and it's always
LJ
like, well,
brought
you
up. I
don't.
think it'd be really cool to see some Sony games be made by Legendary. It would be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Or
it's like
Game properties.
Oh,
It's
a
like
Killzone
we don't
movie
like
would be
we
dope.
don't like monopolizing, but sometimes cool opportunities.
Imagine if they did Jack
happen.
and Dexter, Cody.
Yeah.
Wow,
That could be.
He'd be like,
cool.
yeah.
that could be neat.
Anything Jack and Dexter. I'm
Oh,
in for.
so they don't just make movies necessarily. They like produce. They produce them and stuff. Like they're big producing. Producing.
Tom Holland as Jack.
No, I don't want
No.
to be real.
I'm
Chris
pretty
Pratt
sure.
as Daxter.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Let's
Anyway.
see. So it looks like they're going to be like a distribution company for Sony.
Cool.
Okay.
That's cool though.
Yep. I had to look into that a little more.
No, that's fine.
But apparently they are moving away.
Now we're gonna be, talk about deals, money. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about how much
She's
it
on
makes
it.
Yeah.
takes to make movies. For Amazon, they are committing to spend $1 billion annually on theatrical films.
That's
Which-
so crazy to me.
It's pretty crazy, but they have tons of money. They could do it, obviously.
They
can
do.
afford it. But
Yeah, it's kind of like if it fails, just get Jeff Bezos to give you another.
another billion. That's true. It's just like
Google kills things
that's
all the
a
time,
small
so
fraction of
it's
his
okay for them to
paycheck.
kill something.
So
if they
small.
want.
Yeah.
yeah.
If, like, just make good movies. I hope that's kind of their mindset with it. Is like, we're not going to worry about profit. We're just going to make good movies. I can't imagine
I
that's
hope
anyone's
so,
mindset.
but,
You don't become a giant company like that with that kind of mindset. But
No, I know what you mean, but
would
they
love
have made
to-
a lot of already really good movies and things.
Mhm.
So
You can say they're primed to do so.
Yeah.
Throwing $1 billion at movie stuff could be huge
Mm-hmm.
for them. Well, although it's 15 to 20 movies, I believe, is what they're going to be trying for every year.
Jeez.
That's kind of a lot.
Yeah, so you take the $1 billion and you start splitting it up into that, and it ends up not being. It's still lots of millions of dollars. I don't know what I'm saying.
Imagine an Invincible like feature animated film. Oh,
Animated,
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be
my
dope.
gosh. Please. Please.
Spend
I don't
money
need
on
The
that.
Boys as a movie.
No,
You're already doing enough.
Invincible would be dope though.
It would be cool.
Cool. Anyway, we will see what comes out of that. I don't know. Maybe really good things will come out of that, but also, man, Amazon has a lot of money. At least, if anything, it's gonna be competition for Disney in theaters, right? I mean,
Yeah.
competition
They
is
have
good.
a big budget to work with.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of budget, yeah, with Disney. So, Avatar 2.
I just did a little dance for that second.
Cody's
Everyone
been
listening to
Cody's
that,
been
I was like,
setting up
yes!
Cody's been setting up them alley oops all night.
I know, he's setting up the pins and I'm rolling that bowling ball. Anyway. So Avatar 2 is an expensive movie. Avatar 1 was an expensive movie. Avatar 1 cost $237 million, and which is a lot. I mean, if you're a regular person like us, that's a lot of money. But it was also like the highest grossing film for a while. I don't think it's the case anymore, but for a while, it was the highest grossing film.
Pretty sure
ever.
Endgame and No Way Home have beaten it.
I
It's
think
crazy
you're
that
right.
No Way Home
No, I think you're right.
is beaten. And then before that, though, it was Titanic. And Titanic is also another James Cameron movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, you know what? Top Gun Maverick, I think, beat it.
Oh,
Really?
I think Top Gun
yeah,
Maverick.
Maverick made a ton of money.
This
That's
article
crazy.
says only 2 films have made over $1 billion in the box office since COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, No Way Home and Top Gun Maverick.
Oh.
So okay, a little bit of context there, but anyway, all that being said, $237 is a lot. Sorry, million. $237 million. The second movie is costing somewhere between $350 million and $400 million.
Dang.
So
Twice as much as the first movie?
yeah,
It's got to be like
crazy.
it's got to be one of the top 6 movies of all time, right, to even break profit.
Oof.
Yeah, so like,
Which
and
tells
that's.
me
I just don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know if that's gonna happen because I mean I'll go see this movie, but I just don't think people. I don't know. People really hold Avatar special in their hearts because it was a spectacle. It is a spectacle. The Avatar, it still is. Like it was a spectacle. Sorry, I can't speak. At the time, I mean, people went just to look at the prettiness of the CGI.
It feels like it really hits with the general audience. Like maybe not so much like people who watch movies like on the regular.
True.
But like I feel like a lot of general audiences, like people that are just like, oh, go to the movies every once in a while, I feel like they're the ones that are kind of getting nostalgic for it. They're like, oh,
I think
hey,
you're right.
remember that movie? Like
That's true. A lot of people are
they got a
going
new
in
one
just
coming
for
out.
like MCU and things like that, but like a lot of regular people, obviously, if it was the highest grossing film for a long time, obviously they liked this, and we'll probably want to go again. Like I'm in that. Like I'll want to see it, but I'm not necessarily putting super high expectation on it. I'm not like super excited to see it. I'm just like, yeah, I'll see it. That's kind of how I'm feeling. So. Excuse me, but it's like maybe if enough people feel like that, then they'll maybe be able to make a profit.
Either James Cameron is as pompous and full of himself as people say, and he's just overly confident that it's going to work, or like I was saying with Amazon, because this is so important to him, maybe the budget didn't like not making a profit wasn't the biggest deal, and he was just I'm going to make a good movie, no matter what. And I hope that's the case.
Yeah. And you know what?
I also would wonder what budget for this movie.
It
This
says
movie's been in development for like 10 years.
This article, I don't know if it's correct. I hope it is, right? This article is saying that Disney has spent over $1 billion over the 4 Avatar sequels. And we knew there was going to be more than 2 Avatar movies. We were told there were going to be like a couple. So apparently they've already spent or planning on spending, I don't really know which one, but $1 billion on these.
Okay.
So they're invested, at the very least. They're invested.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which does hopefully lean towards James Cameron just having fun and being able to do what he wants and have a good time with it, rather than Disney trying to sap money from it. But I don't know. They tried to in the past sap money from it. They made a whole park. They made a whole Avatar theme park.
James Cameron did say that if this movie doesn't succeed, he's good to end it with a third, which I think is great. It's like even if this does poorly, he's still going to make another one.
I do like that.
Just because so that it's finished. So, yeah, we'll see kind of what happens there.
Yeah, totally. We just have
I'm hopeful for that. I'm hopeful that he just was like, I'm going to make the best movie I can. We're not going to worry about the cost. Hopefully it does well.
Like that dude, like obviously he knows what he's doing because like some of the movies he's made are like some of the biggest ever, like Terminator 2, Titanic,
2 of the top grossing movies.
It's
of all
true.
time.
I mean,
and Avatar, and like other stuff. Like that dude's on it. He doesn't make movies often, but the dude's on it.
It's true. So I hope this movie will be good. I hope it's good. Yeah. I do. I want to see it, and I hope it's good. I just don't want to set my expectations.
Definitely banking on being like a good story and well written, and not being the visual phenomenon that the last one was. So I'm curious. That's what the other one did.
It's true. Yeah, it's like we have to. But at the same time, I don't know. We might be surprised with how good the CGI is because we've been treated to. And ironically, it's still Disney, right? But like, they've gotten so much time to make this movie with beautiful effects. Like, not with Thor, not with Doctor Strange, not with these movies they're kicking out every year
It's
or
all on
two.
purpose.
That reminds me of
Make
the,
bad CGI so you forget what
Especially
CGI is supposed to
when
look
you
like.
Oh my
mentioned-
gosh, you're right. Disney's a mastermind.
Blow your mind.
like when you mention some of those movies, it just reminds me of like the meme where it's like shows the picture of Spy Kids, and then they're like, "This is Marvel movies now." Like Marvel movies are just
Yeah.
like Spy Kids 3.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, they're not wrong. Oh man.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's our movie news though, so we can move on to TV.
cool.
Sweet. All right. Well, I guess we start with the TV shows that we've been watching. Shelley's got us all watching Andor. Shelley,
Yeah.
you're finished with it, right?
Oh yeah, so good. So
Awesome.
good. Oh,
LJ and I think, are both around episode 6-ish.
Yeah, because
7-ish.
I think I maybe watched one episode since we talked last. But yeah, like
There were more of the goats. I
Yes.
love the goats so
Yes,
much.
because I saw the goat again, and I'm like, oh, that's what Cody was talking about.
Yeah, they're just goats glued on horns. It's
Yep.
perfect.
The goat.
Shelley, we had a whole rant about how it's my favorite creature that they've made in Star Wars so far because it was so grounded in realism.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
Yeah.
else they do is so like out there with their designs for different
That-
creatures, and they always have this like dinosaur skinness to them.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Where they're
I
glued
mean,
to their
So far,
skeletons.
the whole show seems very grounded, and I love that. I mean, we
Yeah.
talked about it, a lot about it last week.
It was
um,
so perfect.
No, it
to
absolutely
have
is.
Just these goats where they
Which,
put
like,
some more horns on them.
I've heard some people like don't like, but I personally like. I like that it's like
Mhm.
realistic, but it's like you're still reminded that Star Wars. You
Yep.
just don't need
Yes.
like the Jedi and these like, really obscure characters to. And the thing is, too, they are referencing other Star Wars things.
Mhm.
They reference, and this I don't think it's spoiled. They like name drop planets that were introduced in the sequel trilogy, and this
That's pretty
this
awesome.
takes place right before Rogue One, and I'm just like, I love that. That's a tasteful reference. That's like,
Mhm.
hey, we actually do want to acknowledge these terrible sequel movies that everyone hated. We're going to acknowledge them. We're going to reclaim them, and we're going to put them in this amazing show. So I think that's really cool. It's such a good show. Ugh.
It makes me realize how much I love the Star Wars world, and not necessarily Star Wars sometimes.
Exactly.
really-
Yes,
cool.
that's very well said.
Same thing with
You
Visions.
watch so much Star Wars stuff, and you go, maybe I'm just over it. Maybe I'm not as into this as I think I am. And then something like this
Yeah.
comes along, and you're like, oh, this is
Mhm.
amazing. It feels very cyberpunk to me in a lot of ways, and I really like that
Totally.
futuristic cities and stuff. Especially
Yeah,
that first episode.
it feels like a high end, like it feels like a show that would have come out on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the day, but like way better. Like,
And it has different planets.
Yeah.
That always bugs me. We're kind of reiterating what we said last week, but it always bugs me. Like Mandalorian is just on Tatooine forever. They
Mhm.
go to a few different places, but it's basically Tatooine, and then you get Boba Fett's Tatooine. I'm so tired of Tatooine. And then the
Cody
other...
doesn't like sand.
Yeah, sand. It gets everywhere. But I feel like even in the movies, they don't really explore these
You're right.
different landscapes, and they have an entire galaxy of them to
Yes.
look into.
Seriously, yeah.
And
Always
it's-
drove me nuts. So this is really, I think the 3-episode arcs are really cool, and that's really
Mhm.
allowing me to get to see different landscapes, and I love
Yeah.
that.
I love again with the realisticness of this, it's like the Empire, especially with Darth Vader, in a lot of media, or especially in the original trilogy, right?
Mhm.
It's like just evil, like comically evil, and there's like it's hard to. I mean, it's not really grounded in that way, right?
Yeah.
I like how this show really grounds the villains. Like they are villains, they are bad guys, they are the Empire, but now there's reason for it.
It gets
That makes
into
sense. It's
politics
like-
in a fun way that I never
Yeah.
thought I would enjoy. Like, it's like, oh, like this is actually what was happening, like with the Empire. Like, wow, this is
Exactly. It's like, and they've
politics
turned
of it
them
all.
from like,
Mm-hmm.
Evil Nazis, which they still kind of are, but like just to like, like they're fascists. Like this is their ideology. This is why it's like there's kind of more understanding as to why they do the things they do.
Yes.
But it's still objectively evil. It's still
Yeah.
objectively bad in a lot of ways. And you also see why, you understand why people maybe try to trust the Empire, or like why people decide to work for the Empire,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. It kind of gives good reasoning for those things in ways where it's like, oh, you know, the original trilogy, honestly, any of the other Star Wars movies, you're kind of like, why would anyone ever work for the Empire? Why would anyone ever, like, you know, trust the Empire anyway? There's like no reasoning. And then the show comes along and you're just like, oh.
I feel like that's very relatable to today because there have been like political issues where it's like you're on one side or you're not.
Commentary within the show.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not like I feel like it's in a way that's tasteful, not like yeah.
I really appreciate. I think I'm gonna butcher the quote, but he basically says it's harder to deal with 20 atrocities than it is to deal with one. And so it was like, if they do all these terrible things, how can one group fix all of them? If it was one thing, then they could fix that one thing. But if you start just destroying everything so quickly, he said the people couldn't keep up with how much was being changed and how quickly. And you can only fix one problem at a time. I thought that was really, really interesting. It makes a lot of sense for the evilness, or I don't know, I did quotations, it is evil, but the evilness that they are committing. If there's so much of it, you don't know what to do at that point. It was like this overwhelming, and then they can get away with, you know, the more political stuff, the financial stuff. They can get stuff pushed through because you're dealing with something else that's happening, not, you know, the core issues.
Yeah, and it's not just you know, it's not. It doesn't just balance out the Empire and people who work for the Empire. It also balances out the rebels. So it's kind of like, hey, they're not always amazing either. Like, obviously, they're fighting for a good reason, but the things they have to do to get there and to make all this stuff happen, the sacrifices they have to make, you're kind of like, makes you question a little bit. You're kind of like, oh, this is really what they have to go through, and
especially in the beginning, like when they start off with that small group of people out there in the wilderness, it's just like,
exactly,
it's like a huge sacrifice.
Yeah, and I think it makes the rest of the, you know, all Star Wars, especially probably the original trilogy, even more grounded, because you're just like, it's not just like this, you know, it kind of still is like a silly space fight between, you know, wizard knights versus this evil force, but it's grounded in like, oh, this came from somewhere and people had to make sacrifices. This is significant. It's not just like a walk in the park, swing your lightsaber around
so much.
Yeah, like, it's like this was built off of tons of rebellion that started with little people, with regular people. And I think that's really cool.
Kind of Cobra Kai-esque in, not that I was silly like Cobra Kai, but just in the muddledness of how, like, people are just people.
Yeah,
there's
it's
always
so
been
realistic.
kind of a running joke that Star Wars, from, you know, an Empire Patriot point of view, would be a terrorist group going and bombing the headquarters of the Empire itself.
Right.
And so that would be what the news would be broadcasting. So I haven't gotten super far into the show yet, but I imagine with what you're saying with the rebels not necessarily being good people, they're not, if you're, depending on whose viewpoint the story is being told through. If they allow it to be a gray area and not these like white knights, you can kind of see that. It is, in essence, a terrorist group. It's just what they're terrorizing is not necessarily good. So
it's
okay with it.
It's like, it's not necessarily like a, oh, there's two sides kind of thing. It's not like a, oh, well, you could see the, you know, either side could be good. It's like one side is clearly evil. It's just a matter of like what means are, you know, necessarily to get to the end, right? Do the ends justify the means, I guess is what I mean. It's like, and having to face that, it's like, what sort of sacrifices do you actually legitimately have to take down an empire as strong as the Empire? And it's like, it's not a walk in the park. It takes like a lot. So I think that's cool because that's unfortunately pretty realistic.
Yeah, definitely.
So good show. Everybody, if you haven't watched Andor, if you like Star Wars even a little bit, please watch it. It's I think the best show, at least live action. I guess it's a little.
I think it's the best Star Wars show that I've seen.
But it's definitely the best. I saw this. Sorry to drag this on a little bit, but I saw this. You know, on YouTube, like people can post polls, and they'll just, you know, their audience or whatever, and they'll just be like, you know, whatever, and people vote. I saw one where it's like, what's the best Star Wars show of 2022, and it was like Andor and Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett and Tales of the Jedi. And I voted for Andor because I was like, of course Andor is the best one.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone voted Obi-Wan. It was like 60% Obi-Wan, and I'm like, but then I looked in the comments, and I agreed with everyone in the comments. People in the comments were like, if you didn't vote Andor, you didn't watch Andor. You need to watch it.
Yeah.
It's like, I really liked Obi-Wan, unlike a lot of people.
I liked
but
Obi-Wan.
No one's complaining about Andor.
It was there was so much mixed things about Obi-Wan. I'm like, I enjoyed it a lot, but like there were issues.
Yep. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a pendulum swing from Space Wizards to this more grounded stuff, and I like a pendulum swing. I think that's what'll keep Star Wars fresh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Treading water from last week, but
sorry.
We're good.
Continue.
No, but it's good because now it updates you into the conversation. So
no, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Shelley, you watched something else as well.
Yeah. So we started Spy X Family.
Oh, I love Spy Family so much.
Yeah, and it is. So
good.
It's really good. I don't know. Like we've only watched 2 episodes so far.
Oh, it's so awesome.
And already, like the premise has me hooked so hard.
It's the most wholesome like anime out there right now, I think.
Yeah, which like I do love wholesome anime, you know, like Horimiya is probably my most wholesome anime that I know, but I'm excited for like, you know, they've only just become a family where it's like right at the beginning of the season, but it's like I just love the fact that there's internal monologue happening with these characters. Which is, like, cool and normal, and it doesn't, like, surprise you when that happens. And then all of a sudden, it's like, this kid's a telepath and can just, like... So it's like, anytime you hear something as the audience, she also hears it. And I think that's such a smart move.
It makes sense like, as to why you're hearing it, too.
Now you immediately relate to this kid. Like, not just as you know, it's sad that she didn't have a family. Now she has a family that's good. It's like, she goes beyond that. She is, like... almost like the audience insert of us knowing this meta knowledge or this knowledge that we shouldn't know. You know, as audience, obviously we get to know everything, but she gets to know all the stuff that she's not supposed to know. And so that's just like, that's just so fun. And also helps prevent sort of like, I don't know, like there's this one moment where it's like, he was thinking one thing, like, oh, I don't know if this will work. And she's like, oh, I don't know if I should go for it. I don't know if this will work. And then as an audience member, you're like, oh, come on. Like, you guys are going to end up together. You know, this is going to happen. We just have to get to it. And Anya also hears the same thing. It's like, oh, I have to make this happen or else it's not going to happen. And so she like, I don't know. I think that's really smart. And we are watching the dub. There is a dub, Cody. So
yeah, that's what I'm watching.
And it's pretty good so far. That's what we usually look up, you know, if the dub is actually good or not. And we heard it was pretty good. So it is good so far. So, yeah, it's good. I love the animation too. It's just like really clean. The music's awesome. It's like I mean, spy movies, right? It's like inspired by spy movies and spy shows, and so all the music is inspired by that. And so it's like jazzy and like it's cool. I'm really liking it so far.
Awesome.
But, that's what I watched.
We'll get into TV news. I'll try to keep this a little short. We talked about James Gunn earlier.
Yeah.
And a little bit more James Gunn news. He also is saying that we will be getting more shows, for sure, promising more DC shows set in the DC universe.
Yay.
So, I'm very excited about that. Especially after Peacemaker, why wouldn't you?
Give me more Justice Society stuff. I'd be down for a show.
Yeah, that would be great. I would watch that as a show. I kind of want a movie, just because of budget stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I really worry about the shows that are in place now. Are they going to start getting rid of them slowly? I saw that Doom Patrol's on season 4, which is crazy to me.
Oh, yeah.
So, we'll see. I don't know what that'll mean for the future of TV. I'm really excited for James Gunn's DC universe, though. I really hope that something doesn't flop and then Warner Bros. Is like, nope, you're out already. Without
if any of them are
I feel
up
that's
to
what they
the
do.
Quality of Peacemaker, then I will be happy. Like, Peacemaker was such a good quality show. Like, as far as budget and everything, too, I think it was just, like, it was really solid.
Yeah, James Gunn's kind of popping off with all these opportunities he has in both MCU and DCU. you know, he's in a good place.
I mean, it sounds like as far as MCU, he's transitioning away from Guardians. Like, it sounds like whatever the Volume 3 is going to be, like...
His last, but...
I mean, that's true, but
if he's
the
gonna
fact
be
that
the
he's
next
still
Kevin
able to
Feige,
work on
though,
that.
Kevin Feige is a very busy man, so...
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't imagine... I wonder what it means for Peacemaker, too, because Peacemaker Season 2 is in the works.
Oh,
But I can't imagine after that he's going to be doing a lot of directing.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yeah. He's made some masterpieces, so we'll see. I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I believe this is HBO as well, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, I don't remember where Twisted Metal is being released on.
Peacock.
It's on Peacock?
No way.
I'm not
That's so
excited. I'm not excited about that because I refuse to spend money on Peacock.
That's a strange place for it. So, I am excited about the show, though. I will probably get Peacock for this because it sounds so cool. It is... I was worried about Twisted Metal just being really dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't watch a lot of like dark TV. It just doesn't sound that fun. But I love Zombieland. Zombieland is one of my favorite movies of all time. If you haven't seen Zombieland, you should. It's so good. But we have Will Arnett voicing Sweet Tooth. There's a big wrestler, Samoa Joe, playing Sweet Tooth.
He's got the perfect build for Sweet Tooth. Like, that dude's...
That already sounds great.
Yep.
And then we have Anthony Mackie playing the protagonist, who is going to travel from one part of the wasteland to the other, delivering a mysterious package. We don't know what that means, but that gives us like Mad Max car combat instead of it just being arena based. I think that's a good way to incorporate all the different characters and get to introduce all the different characters.
Oh, they could do like a Creature of the Week kind of thing, but introduce like each character from the games as like villains or side characters.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
An amnesiac post-apocalyptic outsider. Tess was delivering a mysterious package across the wasteland. It gets better. Deadpool writers Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese are the creators of the show.
Perfect.
And there's one more. Those are the writers of Deadpool. The showrunner, I gotta find.
Wasn't there somebody from Cobra Kai you said that was?
Yes. Michael Jonathan Smith is the showrunner, and that is one of the big writers for Cobra Kai.
Nice.
Ah.
Cobra Kai.
Everything about the show sounds wonderful.
Like the Deadpool humor with the ultra cheese of Cobra Kai sounds perfect for Twisted Metal, especially like the first 3 game kind of vibes, because like Twisted Metal Black was so dark, it was just not funny. But the 3 games were very silly. Like I think 3 literally had Rob Zombie as a character, and you could literally drive the Dragula car, so that's how silly it was. So
I want
this captures that.
Neon Mad Max Zombieland, and I think that they can deliver that.
Oh yeah.
It's just gonna be ridiculous and out there and a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it's not overly gory. Zombieland is pretty good about not being too ridiculously bad. It has its moments.
I mean, Twisted Metal, I feel like could easily be.
Yeah.
But
it's on Peacock, so I really don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like the only reason
it would be great if it's PG-13. I doubt it will be, but a PG-13 horror comedy is kind of like right up my alley with focus on comedy as far as horror goes. I don't love horror, but I like when it's funny. So
I might wait till this comes out, because the only thing that tempts me to even get Peacock for like a short time is, for whatever reason, the rights of Yellowstone are confusing right now, because Peacock has like everything, and then like Paramount and other networks only have like the most recent stuff of Yellowstone. So it's like, and then the spin-off shows, but like the only reason I ever want Peacock is to maybe go back and start from the beginning of that show.
I just want to watch The Office again, but I am not willing to get Peacock just for that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I already have more streaming services than I need. I don't need another one.
Yep.
Are we geeking out about anything else this week?
Nope. That's it.
All right. Before we head out, one more thing. I wanted to mention this at the top of the show. Forgot. The Video Game Awards are next Thursday?
Yes, on the 8th, I think. I gotta double check.
It's not this Thursday. Next Thursday. And you can watch them with us at twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace.
Yes.
And I'll be in the chat. LJ, are you going to be there?
Yeah, Anna, I think Anna might open up the Discord to like staff members.
Okay, cool.
So some of us might be doing voice chat like as we watch with her, but the chat will be open for anybody to come in and watch alongside us. So
yeah. Shelley, are you busy?
I'm gonna try to be there.
Sweet.
I can't promise it, but I'm gonna try it.
We'll be there. Some of us.
It may start right after I get off work, so I'm gonna have to see what time it starts.
That's true. I don't know what time it starts, so I may have to rush home.
I want to say it's like 7 or 8 Eastern.
I want to make sure I'm there, but now I don't want to make that promise.
Yeah.
Like really
well, that case, I get off work at 5.
Because I know that thing
Pacific,
lasts till like 11.
But
yeah,
we'll do our best to be there. There'll be other Twitch streamers from Geeks Under Grace Twitch channel on there as well, in the comments or in the Discord chat.
Let's see.
Either way, it'd be a lot of fun. It'd be cool to hang out with everybody.
7:30 Eastern? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's probably the pre-show.
Oh,
that would be 4:30 Shelley's time. Anyways,
and I don't even get off until 7. Oh man.
Coming out with us.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
LJ, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at LJ the Paladin.
Cool. And Shelley?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24.
Cool. And you can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour and on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace on Wednesdays. So tonight, if you're listening to this when it comes out. Awesome. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.